All right, let's go. Early stream today. It is just 1 o'clock here in Milwaukee, but welcome. Thanks for joining me if you are here. I mentioned in the last stream that I made some edits to Woody Rockwell, popular left-handed starting pitcher. He's a free agent on the roster. I made an edit to his face, and there you go. That's what he looks like now. This is his new face. Hopefully, again, if we're able to transfer players or entire rosters from 20 to 21, I'm gonna have a lot easier path to Bacon's Fictional 2021. But if not, I'll be recreating all these guys. But here's the Woody Rockwell that I redid that I mentioned at the end of the stream before. But we'll jump back into the franchise now. Just bear with me here. I do actually need to thank a couple people, or a few people. We had a few followers since the last stream. It's CJ Vol. Thank you for the follow. Stay the Franchise Sports. Thank you. That was yesterday. And then I think it's Bynes Gaming YT. Thank you. Appreciate the follow. And then there was one more, I thought. Yeah, Gilly Gill 61. Thank you as well. Up, Tech fan. Welcome. Yeah, thank you. Glad that you enjoy it. I believe you usually watch Armor and Sword, right? Yeah, so that's where I met you previously. But here we go. It's going to be A's and the Kings. I looked at the A's at the end of the stream yesterday. They don't have much for injuries. It's just Gunn, a reliever, so that's not too bad. And then Floyd is their starting second baseman. I think he was out before the last time we played him too. But here we'll jump right in. Oakland Athletics and the Atlanta Kings. I get to play at home as the Kings. Yes, I was correct. Cool. Let's go. I got Miguel Cabrera going. I looked at his stats yesterday. He's actually got 30 starts already. And we're in the last week of August, and he has 30 starts already, which is nuts. He's going to get the 35 or 36 starts. And I didn't really mess with that too much. I mean, I did it at the All-Star break where you kind of bounce over and you adjust where the rotation is at the All-Star break, but I didn't think that he'd have 30 starts right here. We're a week left in August here. And then I did make one adjustment to the lineup. Luke Jordan has been benched. I just don't hit with him. And you guys know how much I like Ari Salazar. And then we got Bobby Getz playing second base in the 2 spot. Hopefully he gets another big hit today. I love that dude. Here we go, Oakland Athletics and the Kings. We're sitting at 500 in shouting range for a playoff spot. It'd be the second wild card most likely. But we're in a good spot. And the nice part about this is we are playing the A's in a National League stadium, so no DH. Michael Mayfield has to play first base. Hopefully he has some troubles over there. That would be fantastic for the sake of the stream and for my squad, these Atlanta Kings. So fingers crossed on that too. Hoping that Mayfield is a liability in the field. The A's are below 500 actually. They usually are one of the better teams in the AL West. Not so much in this franchise.
Should be fun. First pitch is next.
But here we go, just about to start. I will go to full screen once we're done looking at Cabrera here. Like I mentioned, 30 starts already. That's nuts. I didn't think he had 30 by now. ERA's decent. Lots of innings. He should easily get to 200. 167 strikeouts. That's less than innings pitched. And then 181 hits is more than innings pitched. Not ideal numbers, but he's been good enough for us. So here we go. First pitch from Atlanta to Alejandro Rosas. We're off and running. He's a 99 for you? Yeah, so I did adjust pitchers for the newest roster, so it's called Bacon Stream roster. That's the one I'm using for this stream, for this entire franchise. So a lot of pitchers have been brought down a little bit. And then in any franchise, it's going to be different. If you're using him in his morale is high, he could be a 99. So definitely look at morale. But he's definitely not a 99 for me, that's for sure. Talk about Miguel Cabrera. Here's Jesse Irvin, one of my favorite outfielders in the roster. Big platoon guy, very good against right-handed pitching. Jesse Irvin. And he's a great defender, so you can even keep him in against left-handers. He's just not going to do the same kind of damage. That's quite all right. At least have a good half of a platoon, if nothing else, here with Irvin.
This is hit high in the air out toward left center. Center fielder on the run, and he tracks it down. A nice running play to record the second out. Settling in now, Michael Mayfield. What a season he's having. Entering play, leading the league.
Here's Mayfield, like I've mentioned before, probably the best right-handed hitter in Bacon's fictional roster. 47 home runs. He's got 120 driven in. Still a month to go. This dude, seriously, I don't mean to pause all the time, but the best right-handed hitter on Bacon's fictional roster. Great discipline, good enough vision, and then, 98 here. These numbers are adjusted a little bit since we're in a franchise, but again, one of the better hitters on the entire roster set. I actually use my own sliders. Excuse me, Tech Fan. My own roster, my own sliders. They are also in the vault if you search Bacon. I'm playing on Hall of Fame, and then it's a little difficult. It's not, super difficult for me, but I lose about half the time. And these are middle-of-the-road teams that I'm using, so it's expected.
Pitch on the way.
But if you want to play around with those, you can as well. Armor does put out a nice set of sliders, too. He's a good one. But I always feel like sliders are really personal. So I kind of want to adjust them to how I feel consistently. And I haven't adjusted them too much since I started this franchise. So, what's up, Moosey? Yeah, I hope those Baconos are good. Kings are off and rolling. It's a 1-2-3 first inning here. And again, very happy we're playing the A's at home, so Mayfield has to play the field. That's going to be the big story of this one. Perfectly all right, Moosey. I believe Raider Ren, if you guys know Raider Ren on here, he's also on OS. He's about to start an Orioles franchise. So hopefully he plays some games. Hopefully we can be in the comments there and support those Baconos. Those are the real Baconos, Moosey. Here's J.C. Ray, my electric leadoff hitter.
Stepping up now, J.C. Ray.
Big time contact bat, great defender in center field, just glides over to everything. Facing Buster Robinson.
And Dan Vero, this Oakland ball club entering play here tonight.
4-2 Tech Fan, no, I simulated to the All-Star break, and then I've been doing the second game of every series. It's difficult to get this far into a franchise playing every single game. I didn't really want to do that for the sake of the stream.
2-0 count, the pitch.
So it's playing one in every three for the rest of this season, and then we'll decide later on what the direction will be after that. Good, yeah. Keep an eye out for Raider. Yeah, I'm gonna try to watch as well if I see him, once I see the notifications. Got those on. Oh, fastball right by me. Wow. Moosey, yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, the podcast was tons of fun. I've actually known a couple of those guys for a while, especially Ryden. I've talked to him for the last, pretty consistently for the last 4 years or so. This is a knock right here. J.C. Ray starting off with a bang. So it was a lot of fun to record that podcast. They're going to do a bunch more episodes. I'm sure I'm going to be on again. I think I'll be more comfortable going forward. If you've been following the stream, like I wasn't super comfortable to start with, and I've gotten better at, just talking and playing the game and having, these lights on me, because I'm not super used to that either. But yeah, it's the same thing with the podcasting. Like once I do it a couple more times, I'm going to be a lot more comfortable, and it's going to be a lot better content in my mind. But yeah, glad you enjoyed the first one, Moosey. Here's Getz. Bobby Getz. Oh, come on. Squared it up just right at the left fielder. Here's my lineup. Got Parker and Franklin, the two veterans. They're 34 and 35 years old. I got to think about trading them at some point, right? Because their value is going to start going down once they get on the other side of 35. Pretty much, once you're at the 32 or so, your trade value isn't that great anyways in real life. Depends on how you're producing, of course. And that one's right by me. Cool. Yeah, I like that, Tech Fan. Yeah, try to play every game if you can. If you're not buying 21, that's going to be a lot easier, of course. I'm still on the
Ray
fence.
leads off second with one gun in the
I've
inning.
talked about that on stream as well. I'm not sure. I need to see more about franchise, and
Fouled away.
need to know if the roster will transfer or if I'll have to redo all of it, because that might influence my decision to buy day one as well.
And
But if I buy it,
fastball
oh,
blew
that's
it
a
right
nice
by
3-pitch
him.
strikeout. If I buy it at all, I'll
Didn't
pre-order
mess
so I
around
get
much
it
in that
as soon as
at-bat,
possible.
No, that was pretty impressive, man. I really like a pitcher
That was a bad at bat. That was 3 fastballs that run right by me.
He decided he didn't need to use anything else.
Yeah, that's perfectly all right then, Tech fan. You'll easily get through a whole season if you skip 21. I'm sure of it. Yep, stay the franchise. Yep, of course. I just need to hear about franchise, like your name alludes. That's the biggest part for me if I'm going to buy it or not.
The 0-1 offering.
Obviously, this is franchise gameplay. I'm not going to, play franchise gameplay without my roster, especially not on a stream. So that kind of would ruin it for me for a bit. Wow, okay. Buster Robinson spotting the fastball. So I get the leadoff double, and then 1, 2, 3 after that. Just getting started here in Atlanta. As you guys know, I'm in Milwaukee. I'm a big Brewers fan. I didn't check the weather yet, actually. I usually do before stream. That's about 20 degrees out. That's fantastic. So much better. We were in the single digits last week. And hopefully we're turning the corner on winter.
Now here it comes.
Make sure to follow me on Twitter as well. That's Bacon's Fictional. No spaces, no punctuation or anything. It's just Bacon's Fictional spelled out. I post updates on there, talk about baseball in general. And especially my Brewers. I'm going to retweet about the Brewers a lot. Sorry about that. Yeah, Cole, I thought there was going to be a video yesterday. Very surprising. 40 in Atlanta, that's fantastic. I'd really prefer that over 22 in Milwaukee.
And he fouls this one off.
Yeah, and it is scary that it didn't show up because what are they doing? We consistently, right, wasn't it 2 weeks in a row there was a video on Thursdays? And now we don't have one once we get to franchise week. Like that's the actual one I wanted to see. So hopefully, bombard them in the comments of the streams, and then they'll talk about franchise some more. Right. I'll try to watch those. I probably won't stream when they're streaming either. If I stream it all on Thursdays, it'll be late like last night was. There we go. Bradley Williams strikes out looking. Love that batting stance that he has, too. It's Milton Bradley's. It's Howard McKinnon, another big platoon guy. A's have a few guys like that are just really good either against just right-handers or just against left-handers. They're probably the most platoonable team, if platoonable is a word. Because McKinnon isn't really much against lefties. Yeah, it was 2 weeks in a row, Cole. That's what I thought, yeah.
Into his windup, here comes the 1-0.
Well, yeah, and then the video on Tuesday was really underwhelming this week as well. So yeah, great week, MLB The Show. Really appreciate your marketing team this week.
Popped straight up. And this is taken in for the second out.
Little do-it-yourself action from Miguel Cabrera there. Who's Enzo Hamilton?
Digging in, Lorenzo Hamilton. He had a couple of hits in that ball game last night. He's ready. Here's the first offering.
All right, sorry about that. My roommate just got back. Decided to walk in the front door right through the stream. Yeah, you're right, Cole, too. If they go straight to DD next week, I'm going to be a little upset.
Now the 1-0.
So hopefully they at least they don't dodge us and they give us some franchise news soon, right? I'd love to hear anything. I really do want to know anything about the game in terms of franchise because that's my big selling point.
Hit on the ground out to short, and that finds its way through for a base hit.
Boy, this was a good start for the pitcher. First guys, 5 up, 5
There's Hamilton with the single.
Number 6 hitter proved to be a little bit more difficult, and that's a bullet hit.
Here's Perkins, the catcher.
Right there, Dan. Just a
Got the
nice
7th today for them.
guy after watching his first 5 brethren take a seat.
Bobby Perkins is in with 2 away now as he looks at a called strike.
Bears look good so far. That was just a hard hit single. Been hitting the corners pretty well.
Ready with the 0-1.
That one's way off plate, or way in on the plate.
And in for a base hit.
Wow, I thought he'd definitely go to third there. Okay. Who's the 8 hitter? Who's batting 8th for them? It's got to be their second base. Oh no, it's Painter. Why is Painter batting 8th? Oh my goodness. That's interesting. Why is he batting 8th in their lineup? He must be doing really bad right now. That's got to be it, right? Jeez, Painter's usually a middle of the order kind of guy. Really good against left-handers. He usually bats cleanup actually against lefties.
Pretty well, and he's been rewarded for it, as you talked about. 6-game hitting streak so far.
And he's a guy looking to break out in a big way. Hasn't been getting the results he
Just 237 for the average.
And he misses again.
15 home runs. We're at the end of August. I've mentioned that before. I'll play until I get eliminated from playoff contention as well. I mentioned that before. That's more relevant for my Spiders than it is for these Kings. CPU lineup logic is terrible. Especially when to use a DH. Or not when to use a DH. Who's the DH? From what I can tell, it's usually the... You know, each position is the best at that position, and then the second best, like if you have 2 first basemen, and the second best overall is usually the DH instead of the guy who's like the worst fielder, which is really interesting. But yeah, lineup logic in general, it seems to be trash. There needs to be like personalities for managers, a little more than like the Joe Madden batting the pitcher 8th, and then you get a little bit more variation, a little bit more,
standing in now with runners in scoring
you know, personality with the lineup logic. Because right now it's consistently trash. Here's Buster Robinson. He's actually a good hitter against, or good hitting pitcher, excuse me. Much better against right-handers. So this guy is a guy I got to be thinking about. You can't just go into autopilot when this pitcher comes to the plate. I do like the rosters a lot without a DH, too. I've mentioned that a lot on stream. I mentioned it before I even started streaming. If you're on the fence about a DH or not, or picking a National League team versus an American League team, there are pitchers that can hit. There are pitchers that can hit really well in both leagues, the National and the American League. So look out for pitchers that can hit. And then, of course, there's pitchers that can't do anything. So, yeah, literally can't do anything.
High and deep down the left field line. And this is going to wind up a
right. Yeah, no, I get that too, Tech fan. But it's also kind of realistic to have guys be upset about their lineup position. Like, see, that's why I like Morale, but that's why I also don't like Morale. Like, I've talked about how I don't like Morale because it messes with overalls when you pull guys out of franchise. That's the one thing that I really don't like. But it's realistic. I mean, there's guys in every lineup. If you look at the Dodgers, like, a few of those guys could hit 3 or 4 in any other lineup, like the real-life Dodgers, I mean. Big strikeout from Cabrera. So they could be, like, upset about their role. Sometimes it changes when they get older kind of thing, so it makes sense. I just wish we could edit Morale, too. If we could edit any individual player and just be like, oh, this is what he expects for a contract, this is where he wants to bat in the order, and then, like, sometimes they just don't mesh with the team that they're on.
Standing in, Elijah Fujita.
I don't get why we can't edit that. I don't know why it's only available in franchise, too.
Here in the final months, it's been a great first campaign in the big leagues for him so far.
This is Elijah Fujita, 2-time Rookie of the Month, my shortstop. I don't believe I have him at short now. He's been playing more right field than shortstop. Yeah, he's by default a right fielder now. Like in my lineup. Oh, that's a bad pitch.
Ooh, that was ugly. Howdy, if you're waving at me.
A ball and 2 strikes now. Robinson.
Yeah, Tech fan, I want to be able to edit anything. I mean, edit anything. Like, let me be able to edit quirks. Let me be able to edit options or service time, career statistics, single season statistics. Why can't I edit any of that?
Tough curveball that
And then, of course, yeah,
the next 1-2 pitch.
the morale or quirks. Literally anything that majorly affects a franchise too. Like, I don't know. That's all I'm asking for. Just let me be able to edit every single thing.
Jorge Aguilera will be next.
Aguilera's next. Hopefully we get a base runner going here. Some action on the bases. There we go. This is a double, right? Yes, sir. Off the wall. Vegeta's definitely not fast enough for a 3-bagger, so we'll take the double.
That was a pretty good fastball, and it almost got by him, but he's able to slap it in the gap in the right center field. Because of the velocity off the bat, the outfielders couldn't cut it off in time and allowed him to cruise into second really easy.
Here is Aguilera.
Standing in now, Jorge Aguilera.
Yeah, Cole, and that I don't blame you for that. I'm really hoping that there's going to be some sort of consistent vault between the PS4 and the PlayStation 5. And if there is, then I don't have to buy a PlayStation 5 this spring, which I still might. I'm completely on the fence, and the show is the selling point for me. So if the show, it's a good enough franchise for me to buy 21, I'll probably buy a PlayStation 5 and buy 21 when it gets to that. But from what it sounds like, it still might be a bit before the rosters are even available on 21. Again, pure speculation. We really don't know at this point. That's why I was hoping for that video yesterday.
Hoping to send him packing. Pitch on its way. Ground ball sent back up the middle. Reined in. Throws in time, and that's
but, I mean, 21 is fantastic. I like the way that 21, or not 21, sorry. 20 is fantastic. I like the way that it works in franchise. It's good enough. It's not great, but it's good enough. And, of course, these are the best my rosters have been, is right now. So if you're happy with it, there's no point in buying 21 quite yet. Here's Riddle. He is my shortstop. Veteran shortstop, Bradley Riddle.
To the plate, Bradley Riddle. As the first pitch misses to him, it's ball 1.
Right around average for the OPS, 751.
That's by him for strike 1.
With the way this guy's throwing on the mound, you cannot be chasing. You have to set your sights a little bit lower and control the strike zone.
Now the 1-1 pitch.
Oh, that's the one I should have swung at, though. I hate this. You guys know how patient I am, and I just too patient for that.
Off speed pitch, no dice. It's 2-2.
Again, off the plate. There we go. This should be a hittable pitch now, right? Let's go. Ooh, it's an infield single even for Riddle. Let's get it. I knew it was going to get the run in for sure. That's big time right there. Oh yeah, Cole. It's a completely different game. That's my favorite thing that people say about it is that it like rejuvenates their love for the game, for the show. So I'm glad that I breathed new life into the franchises and the the enjoyment of the game for you guys, if that is the case. Yeah, again, my favorite thing to hear. Here's Salazar, batting 8th. My Rule 5 draft pick, utility infielder.
Ari Salazar, as he'll take a tough pitch on the outside part of the plate for strike 1. Comes into this one at 271. 5 homers and 25 driven in. This one's outside, quite a bit off the plate that time. Salazar is normally at shortstop, although they've got him playing third base here today. Ready with the 1-1.
Oh, come on now.
Time, but that becomes moot as it's a called strike 2.
What am I doing trying to swing at all these curveballs?
Did he go?
Moosey, I'm glad you agree, too.
Says the third base umpire, ball 2.
It's fantastic. Yeah, I've heard people giving up on the show, and then they were coming back to it because they found my roster or, know about my roster and start playing it. So, love it. Love that story. There's another ball off the plate. He's been throwing changeups way off the plate consistently. I mean, consistently. That's all that Riddle saw. And that's ball 4. Here we go. I mentioned it yesterday. We need a walk counter. I got to do like a walk counter in the top left corner or something. Keep track of how often I get walks. I think it's pretty frequently. I've had games where I've had 7, 8, sometimes 9. I had one online this year actually in a custom league. I think I had 14 walks. It was like 12 or 14, something nuts. This dude just didn't throw competitive pitches on when he got behind the count.
Behind 0-2 now. High in the air and drifting out to shallow center.
Nothing doing there, just a lazy fly ball.
On now and makes the catch in shallow center for round number 2. Now to the plate.
Back to the top of J.C. Ray. So I've gotten a runner to second base in all 3 innings so far. That's usually a good formula, right? We just need that clutch hitting now.
Hoping to limit the damage. Here's the pitch.
Or both innings, sorry. This is only the second inning. What am I thinking about? Gotten a runner to second in both innings.
Got to find a way to execute either a good fastball down and away or flip something off speed for a strike. You cannot miss over the harder plate.
Oh, exactly. Yeah, I'd love to. Yeah, if I can just tell, like, I can tell J.C. Ray why he's batting second instead of first. And then, like, he won't be as upset about his lineup position. Something like that. Because he could fit as a 2-hitter, too. Morel wants him to be a 1-hitter. But yeah, even if it's text-based, yeah, I'd like something like that. I think it'd be best, if it was text-based, actually. Yeah, or it can still be mad, exactly, yeah. And then that changes, like, contract negotiations going forward. Stuff like that.
New inning set to get underway.
Makes sense.
And next will be the speed threat.
But yeah, if I could change it entirely outside of a franchise and make guys who are, like, difficult to work with, stuff like that, that's going to add more personality to every single player. Or less personality to some players. But I think the goal is to add personality. You want them to be, like, feel like you got a living, breathing universe. Yeah, that would be my argument for that, for sure. Beautiful pitch from Cabrera. Moosey, I don't run out of ideas. I got so many things that I can think of that we should put into the show. Look at this. Cole Robertson's got a 20-win season and we're not even in September. What a dude! That's insane. I didn't even know that. He's got 22 wins. I know the win isn't as in vogue as it used to be, but that's fantastic to get 20 of them in a season, and he could get 25.
And a high strike to begin the at-bat. It's 0-1.
Yeah, just
great job by the pitcher right there, changing eye levels. We all know he's a sinker ball pitcher, but if he could throw some
beautiful pitch. Look at that. Another one on the corner.
it could work for him.
Not as far on the corner as usual. But
looking for the strikeout. Here's the 0-2 pitch.
There we go. Yeah, Tech fan, exactly. 22 wins is nuts for Cole Robertson. I'm going to have to look at his entire stat line after this game then. Remind me at the end. I want to look at Cole Robertson later. That's going to stay foul. Yep. Yeah, again, if you get 20 wins, I know that wins aren't like the most important thing. Win-loss ratio in general like isn't the most important thing for pitching, but 20 wins is really something.
He's lucky that's getting sent back to him.
That's impressive.
Stays alive, still 0-2. Nothing in 2.
Change up down, 0-2. Oh, come on. He just keeps falling everything off.
And the count holds at 0-2.
This is a slider down and in. Didn't get it down enough. Just turned out being in. Again, I've talked about how much I like Irvin. That's 15 home runs for him. For a center fielder, too. That's pretty good.
A solo shot here to straightaway right field. Home run number 15.
Yeah, I missed my spot on that one. That's for sure. You guys knew I wanted it lower for sure. Jesse Irvin with the home run there.
When you're facing an elite starter, you know runs are going to be at a premium. I don't know if this shakes the starter's confidence, but you know what it does? It certainly boosts the confidence of the guys in your lineup.
Hey, Cabrera worked out of it in the second, and now a solo shot is going to be how they score their first run. Here's Mayfield going to pitch around him, or at least try to pitch around him.
Go out and get the slider, but it's not there. It's strike one. Bases are empty, one man out.
Mayfield's also a big stolen base candidate. He should be a 50-50 guy if he has a healthy season even. That's how good of a hitter this guy is.
Down the left field line and deep. And no one will get this one. Another 0-2 coming.
One ball.
In discipline. Good discipline, good vision. Very, very good hitter on the roster.
You leave that belt high or miss your spot.
There we go. Love it. Both of the outs this inning have been strikeouts. Both sliders are dotted on the corner there, or off the corner for the last one especially. Here's Williams. Struck him out in the second inning. That was Cabrera's first strikeout of the game.
It's just nasty. There aren't many hitters that like to see this.
I love Bradley Williams' equipment. I don't talk equipment too much, but something I paid a lot of attention to. I talked about it in the last stream as well. Got some Jordans going on here, and then he's got the Franklin CFX Pros. Those are probably my favorite batting gloves in the game. I wish that they still had them in this version because they got taken out, and it's a glitch where I just was able to continue him from 19 to 20, and he kept the gloves like that. But, yeah, definitely my favorite ones in the game.
Just off the outside that time, laid off for
yeah, oozing personality, Bradley Williams.
Pitching so far this season, Williams brings a batting line of barely over 200, so there's certainly some room for improvement there.
He'd be the first to tell you he's not happy with his batting average this season, but he can beat you in a variety of different ways, and he has to because he wouldn't be here otherwise.
2 balls and 2 strikes now.
Power fastball by him. Let's try it.
3-2 now.
For the guy on the mound, this is one of those innings where nothing comes easy. He's thrown a bunch of pitches, and this AB.
Right, yeah, stay the franchise. I think discipline is a lot of like pitch selection where it's based off of if they swing at specific pitches or not. Because I've seen guys swing at pitches that are nowhere near the plate because they got, 15 discipline or something like that. But that's more of a sim stat. I've talked about that before. The difference of sim stats and actual attributes. That's probably the strongest one in my opinion too. Yeah. Yeah, but vision when you're playing against players is, I think, more what you're talking about because that's more like check swings or making contact in general. And then contact is like the effectiveness of the contact.
Boy, this is one of those ABs you like to hit the rewind button on. Put himself in a tough spot now, hitting with 2 strikes.
And the inning goes away.
See, that's a guy with low discipline swinging at a pitch like that.
On a swing and a miss at a ball way outside the strike zone.
But like the point of it is like you gotta like, the attributes equate to certain numbers at the end of a game and at the end of a season. And so you'll have like weird times where sometimes they don't strike out enough or sometimes they strike out too much, and then it equates to the number that they're trying to get to, if that makes sense. But even if every player had the same discipline attribute or the same vision attribute, you're still going to have variation in the numbers.
Irvin is there, and he has it for the first out.
Jumped all over that first pitch of the inning, and he didn't miss it. Just wasn't able to steer it in a direction that resulted in a leadoff hit.
Getz has only seen 2 pitches, but he's got bullets for both of them. Just got to stop hitting it to fielders.
Back after striking out his last time up.
Yeah, he's got to put that one behind him, especially with runners in scoring position. Those punch-outs will stick with you a little.
And then I had strikeouts for my 3 and 4 hitters, which wasn't great in that first inning. Oh, come on now. Don't like that low fastball.
That's popped up.
That was a bad pitch to swing at, too. Still got a knock. Change up down and away.
This is just kind of like that gift that just keeps on giving, D-Roll. Both teams piling up the hits. And
that was a contact swing, too. What's up? Storm's Warning. This is a OS guy. Welcome, buddy. Welcome to the stream.
A lot of execution from the offensive side on both sides.
Only in the third inning of this one. It's a 1-1 game so far. I had an infield single to get the run in last inning, and then gave up a home run in the top half of this third inning. So quick recap right there. Playing in Atlanta.
Fouled away. He's set. Here comes the 1-1. Skied in the air.
Oh, that's not a pitch I'm supposed to pull.
Fielder giving chase. He tracks it down.
Thanks a lot, Storm.
Play to record the second out.
Yeah, I've been doing this for, what is this now, the 6th week, I believe? And really happy. Glad that people are watching. I'm glad that people enjoy it, and I'm glad that people enjoy the stream enough to watch me live. Watch me swing at pitches out of the zone. Yeah, I'm obviously really happy that people enjoy the roster. I'm glad you enjoy the show. I'm glad you like the roster in general. Put a lot of work into this. And we might have to do it all over again with 21, so we'll see. What am I doing? Swinging at trash, trash, and trash. 3 pitches in a row. Pretty tight game through 3 innings, both teams with 4 hits.
Just outside Atlanta as we send it down to check in with Heidi.
Well, Matt, I talked to manager Bob Melvin during the break about his thoughts on the A's hitters to this point.
What's up? It's Cardinal Nation.
He's really happy with the at-bats they're putting together. Yes, they've only scored 1 run, but he said they've done a great job of forcing the pitch count.
8 for both of the stamina and then 3 for CPU hook. Okay, better bullpen managed by CPU. Okay, cool. I like that. I'll try that out. I'm not sure what I have mine at, actually. I should look at that. Both stamina's at 8, CPU hook at 3. I have my starter stamina at 6, reliever at 5, and then hook is at, what is that, 6? Okay. I'll mess around in my other franchise. That's kind of my my one where I try some things. Played 2 series with that setup, noticed a big difference. Okay. Cool. Yeah, and my stamina is generally low for the roster. Like, I don't have a whole lot of the workhorse type of starting pitchers, the big high 80s or 90s stamina guys. And then for the most part, the bullpen guys are in the 20s and some of them in like the low 30s. But it depends on the bullpen. Farmer swears by now. Okay. I like it. Yeah, I'll mess around with that. Play that in my other franchise, like I said. I'm pretty happy with my setup now, but again, like, bullpen management is one of the bigger issues with the CPU, in my mind. We talked about lineups earlier. Like, lineup logic sucks, but then bullpen management seems to be interesting as well. So yeah, I'll look into that. Just think the roles need to be a little bit more defined than setup or middle reliever. But that's my biggest thing. Why can't we do like a closer by committee kind of thing, where it's not strictly the closer all the time? Or when Josh Hader was like first coming up the Brewers, he was like our best reliever, but he wasn't our closer, so we were just, using him in high leverage situations. Yeah, exactly like that. Yeah, roles should be based on leverage of the situation. Yeah, it's consistently trash.
He's 0 for 1 thus far. Here's the first pitch to him. And that misses, ball 1. skied into very shallow right.
Lazy Papa. I'm not hitting it right now.
Over to his left as he snags this one for the first
Had a couple
out of the
doubles in the first 2 innings, and not much since.
Bradley Riddle.
Again, it's early, but
Here comes
still.
the first pitch.
Pitcher I'm facing I like a lot too. That's Buster Robinson. There are 2 Buster Robinsons on Bacon's fictional roster. They're both in the Bay Area. This one is the Oakland Athletics starting pitcher, and then the shortstop prospect for the Giants is the other Buster Robinson. I mentioned that yesterday. I didn't do it too much, but there's probably 4 or 5 sets of guys with the same name, same exact name.
As long as he keeps it above the letters.
To 2 balls and 2 strikes now.
Well, 2 straight fastballs.
Right, I agree with that. It's completely a roll.
So now it'll be interesting
In early versions of the roster, actually didn't have any closers on it. It just had the relief pitchers. And I actually like the way that the game plays better like that, too. Because the position's kind of in flux when you're in a franchise anyways. We play... Oh, come on, I meant to swing. But you can play one opponent one time, and they have, you know, their main closer. Like, for the A's, it's going to be James Brandon. But then if he struggles, then you might see D'Amico instead. And I like that it changes depending on how well the guy's doing so far in the season or recently. So there shouldn't, like, strictly be a position either, like a closing pitcher position in the show. It should all just be chunked into relievers. Or even if you wanted to put them all together, just have all your pitchers be one position. And, you know, then you're going to get openers a little more often or guys in the minors who you're not sure if they're going to be starting pitchers or relief pitchers. And it's a little more accurate to how, like, how baseball teams actually treat their pitchers in the minors and even in the majors.
And this is taken low for ball 4, and they'll have themselves
Oh, it never has enough closing pitchers. No, I'm pretty sure it's a direct relationship to how many pitchers retire. And then, like for every closing pitcher that retires, there's a closing pitcher in the draft. For every shortstop that retires, there's a shortstop in the draft. I'm pretty sure it's consistent like that. Cardinal, we didn't talk about the Tatis contract too much. I find it hilarious that Bobby Bonilla is still going to get paid longer than Tatis. That's got to be the best part about it, right? That deferred money for, what was it, 30 years is just nuts. It is not getting through. But that's actually a little more common than you think, too. The deferred money just isn't always out in the public. Depends on the deal. Depends on a lot of situations within the team and the player. And yes, 100% in for the ambiguity, especially for pitchers. Or even, I had this idea before where it's like, if you have like a shortstop coming up, and he profiles to be more of like a power corner kind of bat, you could have a coach come up to you in spring training. It's going to totally be text-based too. Coach comes up to you in spring training, and it's just like, hey, like, Fernando Tatis looks like he's going to be more of like a power hitter. We should try him at third base because we don't have a good third baseman right now. Talking like after Machado's gone. And so then you're like, oh, totally, we'll do that. And then that's how you initiate like a position change in a franchise. And it takes him some time to learn the position. And then his attributes go back up to where they were when he was a shortstop. But he has third base as his primary position instead. And you can do that at any point in a player's career. You just have to have the coach, prompt it and be like, oh, like our shortstop, like his arm's not going to be there. He should be a second baseman. He'll be a second baseman in the majors. And then you transition him to being there, and you got to play like a certain amount of games, and his attributes are back up to his full attributes when he previously was a shortstop. Give me that sort of ambiguity as well.
Looks like he swung it underwater that time for strike 2.
Really feels like he's just on cruise control out there on the mound right now.
Boy, this is a tight one. You kind of get
something like that would be great. And then even have it be like, if your coach is a bad coach, then your coaching ratings actually matter, and you can just say no because it's a bad suggestion. So better coaches make more good suggestions, and then bad coaches make a lot of bad suggestions. Oh, exactly, yeah. State of the franchise. I do not edit players in franchise. I'll edit draftees, and I'll edit like one time just for aesthetics. And sometimes, you know, if a guy has, they make a bunch of junk pitchers that have a two-seamer, a sinker, a slider, and then a changeup. And it's like, why would that be his pitch mix? So I adjust like the two-seam to make it a four-seam instead. And then beyond that, with draft picks, I don't really touch them, or touch any player. But, yeah, I don't generally edit players in the franchise. What I'd like to see, too, is have secondary positions have, like, a comfort level. So, like, a guy like Marwin Gonzalez, who, like, is okay with his utility role, has, like, a high comfort level for his secondary positions. Whereas, like, a guy who plays first base primarily, let's say, like, an Eric Thames for the Brewers previously, he was the most comfortable at first base. So his comfort level would be low for his secondary positions because he didn't like playing left field or right field. So then his attributes would take even more of a dip, even though it's his secondary. Same thing with guys who like Carlos Gomez when he played for the Brewers. Primarily a center fielder, didn't want to play the corners, so he had a high comfort level in center field, good attributes defensively, and then he didn't like playing the corners, so he'd get like a little knock because he didn't like playing his secondary as much. And then you get a bigger knock than that when you're playing a position that isn't your secondary. I'd like to see something like that. Have those change as well. Guys that are more comfortable with bench roles have high comfort in their secondary positions. Would just add another layer to secondary positions for sure. Oh yes, the player comparison screen, that's fantastic in Road to the Show. And DD, yeah. Pretty much the same screen, but it's good in both modes. I'd really like to see that in the show. Especially if it was like a player search like kind of thing, or you bring up like a player card and you can have one player card just like in your queue, and you can bring that up and compare it directly so it's got both of them overlaid on your screen. You'd be like, oh, what's Bobby Getz better than Chase Parker at? And you have both the cards directly on your screen. I like that a lot. And I keep going after the first pitch with him. This is bad.
On to first, and they turn the double play.
We don't get to see
yeah, Cardinal, I've heard of that. My controllers are fine. It seems to be just like a drifting issue with the analog. But you can find somebody who knows what they're doing and fix that. For the most part, though, I'd just buy a new controller. Especially if you're going to play online. I wouldn't want to bother with a busted controller online.
First pitch coming, here it is.
But yeah, if you got $60 to throw out, then I'd just buy a new controller.
This guy's got to be pretty proud of what he's done so
I wish they weren't that expensive, too. What's up with that?
But to have this kind of outing in a ballpark that
like, why are controllers as expensive at games? I don't get as much enjoyment from controllers as I do from games. All right, that's a conversation for another time.
And he fouls this one off.
So that double play really killed this inning here. We got Parker up now. He had a knock his last time up, just a single to right.
Doesn't quite catch the bottom of the zone.
The ball inside.
Came off a bit with a fastball in, but it's 3-1 now.
3-1. I'd love to get him on for Franklin. Franklin usually hits bullets for me. Usually. There we go. Ball four. What was that, second or third walk? Who's keeping track? Seriously, I do need someone to keep track of, because I can't count walks while I'm trying to play on stream. It is my third walk. All right. Right, I had one last inning, too. Oh, late on 95. I should never be late on 95.
Third time as he swings and misses at that one. It's 0-1. In the dirt here. Good job keeping it close.
Yeah, it happens, though.
1-1.
Oh, my goodness.
There, 2 strikes now.
I'm nowhere near it with the PCI either. Yeah, way too late.
Wow, was he behind that?
That was a bad at-bat. That was a bad inning in general. A hit and a walk, but we get nothing? Disgusting. And we're now on to the 6th inning. Here's Michael Mayfield for the 3rd time. He's been quiet to begin this one. I'm going to have to face him at least 2 more
Really
times.
on point so far, but it's not getting any easier. He has to get through 4, 5, and 6 right here.
Oh my goodness, right by him.
Offer at that point, it's a cold strike.
I'm surprised he
That's a
took
pitch you'd
that.
like to have back. You're not going to see very many pitches like that.
Oh, that was not a great pitch either.
I'm sure he'd like to have that one back.
It was off the plate. I didn't think it was that far off either.
1-2. Slow roller down the third baseline. But this is a foul ball as the count holds steady at 1-2. Tried to shoot the corner and he missed it. 2-2.
This is a fun guy to watch when he's up there. Really battles. Doesn't take any pitches off. He's a grinder.
Oh, come on now.
Difficult on the opposing pitcher.
This is a cutter again.
2-2.
See if I can get him to go after it. Oh, nope, not where I wanted it.
But this is going to be a foul ball as that keeps things at
The 8th pitch of this at-bat.
And it's fouled away.
I'm going to make a mistake, aren't I? That's what's going to happen here. He's just going to launch one. Nope. Oh!
Hey, this has been an epic.
That was exactly where I wanted it. Oh my goodness, he didn't want it.
Right there. Maybe
Okay.
he had a swing and a miss. He didn't bite on that one, so now we go full count.
Hit down the third
There we go.
baseline. Fielded cleanly.
Michael Mayfield held in check through the first 6 innings.
So the leadoff man's retired here to begin the 6th.
Technically, I'm not entirely sure. I think that
Next will be the cleanup.
I think it depends on the hitting input that you're using. Because I think if you're using what is it called, directional, then and you're using like the same tendency, like if you're using a pull hitter, a right-handed pull hitter, and you're pushing it to the left, you're going to be successful more often, I believe.
First pitch of the
And then probably the same thing with analog. But I think for zone it isn't as much. That's just my guess. I'm not entirely sure with hitter tendency.
Fouled off. Into the windup. Here comes the 0-2 pitch.
I do know that batting stance actually has an impact while you're playing games as well. So your hitter tendency, like pull or push, is also dependent on the batting stance. So you can have 2 players with the same exact batting stance, and one's a pull hitter, like when you edit him, or extreme pull, and one's a pull hitter, and they both turn out to be extreme pull, something like that. But I think that depends on a couple other factors, and I'm not entirely sure what they are. No, stances seem to matter, actually. They seem to actually matter. I'm not sure how much hitter tendency matters, but it changes what the hitter tendency is on the player card.
We're only in the second game of this series.
Oh, of course, yeah. I'd love to see more specific training as well. Put more emphasis on spring training, too, or off-season training, stuff like that. Like, why don't we talk about, like, how much more, like, expanded spring training could be? Because in the game, it's nothing. And for us in real life, it's 6 whole weeks of, stuff going on every single day in the camp. I mean, not so much for fans, but for players, like, they're doing stuff every day, working on fielding, working on new positions, working on hitting against left-handers, like you said, yeah. Same kind of thing, yeah. Or even make it like a game. If you want to, like the Madden drills, if you guys remember the Madden drills from PlayStation 2, that would be fantastic. Add something like that. So give me like 10 swings in the cage, and if I hit 5 home runs, I get +2 on power right, something like that. Or let me play defense with this guy just a little bit and see how well he does with cutoffs, and then he gets like arm accuracy or something. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, same kind of thing. Put him in Road to the Show.
Now the 2-1.
But anything like that for franchise, for spring training would be fantastic. Yeah, and then if you put him in one, it should easily go to the other one as well. If you put it in franchise, it should easily be in Road to the Show. Completely agree.
High in the air out to center field.
Yeah, because spring training is completely a waste right now in the show. There's no non-roster invitees. Like, overalls of every single player. Your veterans play way too much. Like, the only thing they have right is the schedules, and they barely even have the uniforms right. Yeah, we use them on off days in the regular season as well. Like, there are Major League Baseball teams that practice on off days, kind of thing. Or like during BP, they do it right before the game, kind of thing. Like, give me that kind of feel as well. You used to be able to do that in the show, actually. You used to be, for Road to the Show, I mean. You used to be able to take like 10 swings before the game started every Road to the Show game. I really enjoyed that. Something like that would be cool.
First pitch on its way. They'll try and entice him with
I don't want to take like 10 swings with every single starter, though, kind of thing. That's going to take way too much time. But it's an idea. It's something that makes some sense. I got to take May out of this long reliever role because that was a bad idea to have in there. We're in the 6th. We're still tied. I like Young. Maybe think about Betancourt too.
Now the 1-0. Hard on the ground towards short.
MLB 17. Yeah, that sounds about right to me too. I don't play too much Road to the Show anymore, so I'm not entirely sure where they're at with features. But just not my preferred mode. But yeah, that sounds about right. 2017.
So here's the signal from the bench, and they will indeed ask for that play to be reviewed. So the umpire.
So the reviews like rarely even happen. So I usually just challenge it by default anyways.
And boy, I'll tell you what, I just don't see it there. I'd be pretty surprised if this challenge works.
But this is totally, yeah, that's going to be an out easily.
Headset's coming off. Here comes the decision, and he is indeed out as originally called. So they lose the challenge and the ability to use any further challenges for the rest of the game. Ready once again.
Okay, here's Aguilera. Tech fan, I'm not super into the reviews. I wish they triggered either more often or not at all.
And he fouls this one off.
I think that's going to be a PlayStation 5 issue, though. They said something about how they couldn't expand it anymore on PlayStation 4. So I'm hoping that it really gets expanded on PlayStation 5 or just gets taken out, because it's a wasted feature in my mind. I just pretty much default to challenging the play if it pops up ever, even if it's out by a mile, like on that play.
One out, nobody on. Inside and a hair low. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes.
Yeah. If it was a full on, like I could challenge anything, like in old men's, you could challenge any single play, challenge the spot of the ball, challenge a bunch of stuff on like touchdowns. Even you could challenge a bunch of stuff on Madden. But if it's just the play at first, it's a wasted feature.
Into the box now, Bradley Riddle.
Again, I like the idea. You just need to expand more on it.
Back to the corner, it's ball 1. A hit in 2 at-bats for him at this point in the ball game.
Oh, I'm a pop-up machine this afternoon.
Mayfield is there to make the catch, and the side is retired.
Oh man, no, I don't play too much Madden either, and I wouldn't say 2001. That's a little bit further back than I'd say Madden broke. I do like probably Madden 09 is probably the last good Madden, and then I probably put the most time into Madden 06, and that still had the Tony Bruno show. So that's probably the peak of Madden for me, is probably about 06 to 09 or so. That's when they introduced the truck stick was 06.
Tried to check it, and it's 0-1.
So yeah, I'm into that area of Madden, but anything beyond that, not so much. And yeah, I'll compare the two, but Sony San Diego is well above where EA Sports ever was, even at EA Sports peak. I think the show's current peak is higher than where EA Sports peak was, in my mind. There's Cabrera's 7th strikeout already. We are in the 7th. It's fantastic to get a pitcher going this deep into a ball game like this. Yeah, I bought 10 and 11, and then 12 was actually probably the best Madden on PlayStation 3. And then 25 and 15 were really kind of trash. Or 13, yeah, 13 and 25, and then 15. And then I played no Madden on PlayStation 4, not consistently.
Digging in once
Yeah, I'm
again.
interested to see what they do with DD because I'm sure they're going to put a lot into it.
Left-handed here.
I'm not going to play it too much. I don't play too much DD. But again, it's just nice to see them improving the game. And I think the card collecting mode is still the best in all the sports games.
In there, strike one.
But I wish that they put those resources more towards franchise, more towards overall customization or, a third-party customization tool.
And it's fouled away.
Yeah, 12 is okay. I don't like any of the PlayStation 4
The
Maddens.
0-2 pitch.
It's all buggy.
Was outside, quite a bit off the plate that
And it's an
time.
obvious cash grab. Like, what are you doing? Like, I'm not going to spend all this money on cards that expire every year. That's the same thing with the show. I just don't care. Exactly, yeah. It's an EA scheme.
Now the pitch.
And FIFA's even worse. Oh my goodness. We're not going to talk about FIFA though.
Close with the sinker that time.
One of the things you want to do with a starter.
I had a buddy in college that would actually play FIFA, like FIFA Ultimate Team, consistently. And he'd work on the weekends and he'd come back and spend all the money he made on his FIFA team. And that's when you know you have a problem, right? I don't know. Most of the money I've made for working in college has gone to college and to rent. None of it's going to the show. None of it's going to, me buying cards that'll expire in 6 months. Yeah.
Ari Salazar, a couple of walks for him thus far.
Number 56.
Ready to deliver. Here's the first pitch. Strike taken up in the zone.
Yeah, exactly. That is addiction.
High in the air and
Nothing doing here for Salazar. He at least got 2 walks. That's a big plus. Again, Salazar gets on every single game I play. I swear, like, this dude, it's usually knocks, but it's 2 walks today, so that's fine. They still have Snyder in, so that means I want either Dominguez or Ramirez. I'm going to go with Dominguez first.
Francisco Dominguez.
And I might have to actually keep him in for defense. And then instead of Betancourt, let's get up Zinter. They're going to have to put in a pinch hitter first, which is what I don't like about the game, is that the CPU will do a change like that where they put in a new hitter before I'll put in my pitcher. And why does it work like that?
Popped up. Mayfield is there. And he makes the catch for the second out.
Or even like the game where, like, the game within the game where, like, you send up a pinch hitter to get their pitcher out of the game, and then they put in a different pitcher, and then you put in a different pinch hitter. Why doesn't the CPU ever do that? I know it's kind of a joke in real life, but still, just to get a reliever or get a starter who's at the end of his rope out of the game.
Bases are empty here with 2 men out.
You never see that in the show. Damn, I'm nowhere near Snyder here.
Quickly behind 0-2.
So back-to-back sliders for strikes. Does he come back with yet
Another slider.
That's back-to-back really good sliders. I wouldn't be surprised.
What's up, Still?
Right here. Looks like he's got that slide ball in his back pocket right now.
You got wrecked with Sacramento on the mound? Dude's one of the better starters. I'm still upset that they don't say Sacramento in the game. Got killed yesterday. You're 5-2 though, so that's not bad. Good start to the season. Are you playing every game?
And this is going to be a foul ball.
Got to take advantage of that pitch right there. 0-2 breaker hanging over the heart of the plate.
Ugh.
Not going to see too many of those.
Just follow everything off. Yes, you are. Good. Excellent. Love it. I bet you like Rex West then. Marco Mendoza. First 2 guys that come to mind for me on the Mets. They have a few prospects not too far off too. They have a couple bats I really like in the outfield in the minors. Brandon Johnson's not too bad. Good, you love West. I love West. Rex West. If I never made Michael Mayfield, then Rex West would be my favorite right-handed hitter in the game. Is that gonna drop?
Center on the run.
Well, Dawkins too. Yeah, nice utility guy. Primarily left field, but he plays all over the place. Speed guy, Dawkins. See, now they're going to put in a pinch hitter before I put in my pitcher. What's up with this? Why doesn't the game force me to put in a pitcher first? because it changes who I put in here now. To I'm probably going to do Zinter or Young instead of Zinter. Actually, no, I'm not. I'm going to put in Zinter here. Yeah. Here's Tom Zinter, one of my better relievers, my best lefty out of the bullpen. Cool. The wild lefty, Tom Zinter. What a play by Franklin! Let's go. Ben Philly with a great home run trot. Who is that? Is it Kodiashi? I'm not sure which one you're talking about. Yeah. Zinter is nasty, yeah. Is that his nickname then? Zinger? That'd be fun, right? The Zinger.
No balls and a strike to count. 1 run, 4 hits, and no errors in the ballgame for the A's.
Here we go. 0-2.
Strike 2.
He goes to grab second base. Yeah, I'm not entirely sure which guy that you're talking about, but yeah, I tried to use every home run trot in the game. They keep adding different ones. And I try to use the ridiculous ones, obviously, too, because I mean you have to.
Of the strength of his game, which is his speed, but with the strikeout right there, you can't get on first base.
Because it's a video game, why not have fun with the video game, right?
At the plate now, Jesse Irvin, as he takes a cold strike at the knees.
Yeah, but I'm not sure which guy you're talking about. I might have to check after the game. I was also going to check Cole Robertson's line for the Padres. He has 22 wins already. We're not in September yet, and he has 22 wins. I got to start thinking about who I'm going to bring up now, too. I'm pretty close to that time of the year. Oh, Zinter with a great inning. 1, 2, 3. Fairly quickly, just 8 pitches. What's up, Noble? Yeah, bacon for lunch today. It was a breakfast for dinner situation last night, but a little more normal to eat bacon around this time. Glad to have you here. Thanks a lot, still. Appreciate that. Yeah, college student just about to enter the workforce, if that ever turns into a thing. It's difficult looking for jobs right now, so that's a good news for any of my fictional roster fans. It's bad news for my own pocket, though. But no, I enjoy it. This is my main hobby. Very cool, still. CPA. I'm gonna keep the lefty in, unless we score a run. Actually, no, I don't know. I'm probably just gonna keep him in. How long do you go to college then still? I started thinking about being an accountant at one point, and then that idea was junked pretty early on. There's Marcinick. This is one of the few guys in the roster with a sinker and a two-seamer. I don't have too many of those guys. We haven't scored since the second. Haven't had a runner hit the third since the second either, I don't think.
Here's the pitch.
Really? Okay. Yeah, maybe update the app there, Noble. That'd be my first guess. Unless you're on computer, then I really don't know. I'm guessing you mean your phone in terms of notifications, though. Yeah, I always get mine, and it's about 90 seconds, maybe about 2 minutes after I start streaming, so that's why there's like that pause in the first little bit of the videos. I know a lot of streamers have like a countdown. I could do something like that as well. I think I'd have to pay for something for that.
To be honest with you, I'm a little bit more afraid.
The current setup, I just used a quick PowerPoint, and that's it.
He's the guy that's got to beat me.
But yeah, that's interesting. I wonder what the issue is. Man, yeah, and Twitter gives me too many notifications. Like, I follow people, and I have like notifications on for some people that I follow, and I don't need to see everything that they comment on or everything that they retweet when it's not even relevant to their actual account. But yeah, Twitch is a little weird because sometimes I just don't see that people are streaming. Oh, I just used it to advertise the roster. That's pretty much it. Talk about some baseball in there as well. Yeah, Twitter's pretty much only for that. Not on there too much, just to talk about it.
Ready to deliver. Here's the first pitch.
Hey, this one's tied late in the game. As a pitcher right now, you just
in the 8th inning here, you need a clutch hit. We've had a few of them before, especially with these Kings.
Split-fingered fastball there inside.
Oh, this should be a fastball then, right? His primary fastball is a sinker, so I think it's going to be a sinker. What are we thinking? Down and away?
But you also don't want to run the count to 3-0.
Oh, just a little further off the plate than I wanted to swing at. Oh! I had the PCI down because it's a sinker. I just expected it to be lower. Didn't have it too low, though. Bradley Williams makes the play there. We got Mayfield, Williams, and McKinnon for the A's in this 9th inning now. Still a 1-1 game. I haven't played extras for a while, right? It's been, what, almost 2 weeks. The last time we played the A's, actually, was a extra inning game. Up to 153 with Franklin. Very nice. I'm in the 220s with him. Again, that's mostly simulated. But he's not a big contact hitter guy. If he can get 30 home runs, it's a good year, right? I've seen guys hit 40 with him. But for the most part, yeah, he's just a middle-of-the-road power hitter. You know, maybe get up to 240, 35 home runs if he's having a good year. And he's at the end of his career, too. He's not going to do much better than that in year 2 or year 3, really, I don't think. Oh, where did that miss? Not a good spot, but I don't know where that missed. Ridiculous. Trying to shave his beard with my cutter.
Most good pitchers know that they have to work inside and sometimes even come off the plate to keep hitters from getting comfortable up there. I think that was part of the intent.
He's entered a great first inning. Let's hope he can do a second. Oh, come on. These pitches are not missing by that much. Especially, yeah, 4 and 7 were both right on the black. Just a great at-bat from Mayfield. And again, he's a stolen base threat, so hopefully he doesn't go here. Finally hit your first home run with him. Big homer against the Marlins. Love it.
He made some good pitches, but he just couldn't get him to chase enough out of the zone.
Yeah, I think Franklin leads my team. Again, I've simulated more, though.
Here's the first pitch.
He is going here.
That's a strike to throw down.
Not even close. Seriously, how many bags does he have?
You don't see that very
oh, and he took a step?
This guy has one of the best arms in the game, but still a successful steal.
No chance for Parker there. I want to see how many bases he has stolen. Michael Mayfield. There we go. It's 46 doubles, 47 home runs, just 27 stolen bases. So he's probably not going to get that 50-50 season. But he is Jose Canseco.
And this will be fouled away. Looking at his
oh, of course, yeah, I got rid of Gavin Cook, yeah. Had to move him for anything else. I'm not a big fan of him. He kept getting injured from me, too, actually.
He brings value to the manager on a daily basis.
Where he had one big injury, and then I moved him off after that. Yeah, I'm actually curious now. What did I trade for him? Or get from him?
Not much in the way of productivity from him so far, but he's got a chance to come.
13 homers in 22 games. Yeah, that's glitch territory for sure, Noble. Oh my goodness.
None of that matters if he can clutch up when it really counts.
Got the infield in here. Pretty sure. Yep. This is Howard McKinnon, power left-handed bat. Did he really hit a home run? He has like no contact against lefties, and he goes yard like that. Okay. Great. So McKinnon with the 2-run home run. I was scared of the wrong guy this inning, I guess.
Boy, when this guy gets in his groove, he can hit him, and when he hits him, in
Yeah, we need an air horn for that too, right?
Last night's game.
That's funny,
If they
Noel.
continue to pitch him on the outer part of the plate, look out, this guy's going to do some major damage.
Yeah, I'll figure it out for next week. I want to get an air horn for whenever I hit home runs. I do have one, so it goes off when I get followers.
Now time is called, and this might be to buy a little
But we
time
should
for
do
that
one
reliever
for when I hit home runs too, right?
Orlando Betancourt,
Still, I haven't heard anything.
one gone in the top of inning number
I
9.
wish. But I was really thinking we'd get something in the video on yesterday, and we didn't get any video yesterday.
Hamilton, as he will look at a
So,
first pitch
gonna have to bug him again going forward. Let's see.
A ball and a strike now.
Good, Noble. I'm glad you agree.
A ball and 2 strikes now.
1 ball, 2 strikes, count.
Still hanging with him. Another good swing to keep it going. Another 1-2 delivery.
2 balls, 2 strikes.
Lifted the other
There we
way
go.
out to left center. Center fielder on the run. He makes the running play. 2 down. So striding forward now, Bobby Perkins.
Here's Perkins.
He's set. Here it comes.
0-1.
2 out, nobody on.
Well, that's good. Yeah. Again, Franklin's a big-time power guy. You hit good. You hit good with Cook as well, Tech fan. They're kind of the same kind of hitter. Cook just happens to have a little more power, a little shorter guy. Yeah, I'm thinking I'll trade Franklin too, actually. I like the first baseman I have in AAA, and I can just get a stopgap guy for next year. Depends on what I move, or what I do. It depends. We will see. If I make the playoffs, I'll probably keep it together a little more too. But I don't know. Good, yeah, I'm glad you like him too. Yeah, I hit better with the guys who are a little high vision and higher contact.
Batting in the 7th spot, number 33, Ian D'Amico. Now catching and batting 9.
Leading off the inning, Elijah Fujita, as they'll look to get something
Okay,
going
here's
here
Fujita.
It's
I do
not easy
need.
coming back off of closers, but this guy hasn't been super defensive.
Here's Fujita. And then I got Aguilera and Riddle. Probably not going to pinch it for any of these 3 guys. Cook is Dan Uglo. I like that comp. Except Cook is a left fielder, so he's kind of a power corner kind of thing, where Uglo was a defensive liability at second. I don't know. Cook is a terrible defender, though, too. So I see the comp.
0-1, here it comes. Hard liner towards short.
There we go.
Elijah
Fujita, is this going to be a double? I'm going to push the envelope. Oh, barely. Let's go. What a slide. What a hit for Fujita there. Elijah Fujita with a double right over the shortstop, and he barely gets into second base. That's a good comp, too, there, Noble. See that Gavin Cook is Dan Ugla when he had a 30-game hit streak. Low contact, high power. Yeah, well, Dan Ugla was the dude. I mean, yeah, you guys know Dan Ugla. Obviously, 30 home run second baseman. But then he did have that one big season where he had that hitting streak. What was that, 2009? 2008? Something like that. That's right, Moosey. This is where we score. Got to do something. At least get him to third. D'Amico I'm not too scared of, so this shouldn't be too bad. Aguilera's better against right-handers than he is against lefties. So he's fine in this situation too. Oh! It was weird, Tech fan. Appreciate it still. Thanks a lot. Yeah, just watch the stream. That's the support I want more than anything else. Tell your friends. I don't need too much financially, but I appreciate the support here. That's for sure. Just want to get people to download it, people to play the game. That's pretty much it. It was 2011. Okay, there you go. A terrible strikeout there. Swung at the slider down low. You guys know how much I like that slider down and away.
6'4" right-hander.
Too much.
He's a veteran of 7 years at the major league level.
33 games. Good. Aguilera's doing something. That's good. 300 for the season. Couple homers of the last 5. He was leading my team in home runs for a little while. Oh my goodness. Yeah, he's kind of a middle of the road power bat. Decent defender. Seems like more of a bench bat to me than he is a starter for Aguilera. That's especially if you have Cook hitting well, then I'd start Cook way over Aguilera, especially against lefties.
Here he comes on a ball and 2 strikes.
Oh, what am I doing? I almost swung at that pitch too.
But it won't skip away far enough for the runner to advance.
Wow. This is bad. Don't look at the screen. Oh my goodness, it was all sliders.
That strikeout changes the whole complexion of the inning. He was definitely pitching for it with a runner on third and 1 out, and he got it. Now it's going to take a hit or something like a wild pitch to get that guy.
Oh, I like Brad Harrison too. Masher against left-handed pitching. If he starts to play defense, I'm into it. And this is your ball game now, isn't it? I should have pinch hit with Salazar before Salazar. So we lose to the Oakland Athletics. It's a 1-3 loss. It pops the bubble of my winning streak.
I'm sure they're feeling pretty good about themselves. We'll see how they can keep
and then
this up.
what all the hits for me. Right?
3-1 the final. The Oakland A's came through when it mattered.
Yeah, that sucks though.
Ninth on the way to the win.
Oh, Noble, you're using Universal DH. Okay. Yeah, there you go. Cook is a prototypical DH then. Use Harrison and right. I like that a lot too. I like Brad Harrison. He works well, probably the best in right field of all of his positions. He's not exactly a first baseman. He's primarily a third baseman, but I wouldn't use him too much at third either. Right field is the spot for him. So there I had 3 walks, doubles from Ray, and Fujita actually had 2 of them. So who's my player of the game? Is it Fujita? 2 hits, scored a run. Ray had 2 hits. I think it is going to be Fujita then for my player of the game. I'm keeping track of that. I have been all stream. Not exactly state of the franchise, no. So I kind of use the normal curve. If you guys know statistics, it's the the median or the mean. Then you have 34% of the data on either side. So I figured 60 is the average for any single attribute, and then just decided to make sure that everyone was in between that normal curve, if that makes sense. Yeah, 1 standard deviation of the mean. Yeah, exactly. So 34% of either side. That was something I came up with probably in 2017, not right when I started it, but right once I was getting to like the beef of making players. And it just made more sense to do that than to randomly make players. Oh, Noble, for sure. Ozuna is a professional hitter, and he is garbage in the field. So I am all for that, yeah. I'm all for the DH too. I'm more of a traditional baseball fan myself as well. But, it's to a point. Yeah, it's to a point where it's just like, I don't need to see pitchers making outs 9 out of 10 times consistently. Yeah, I use Excel, state of the franchise. Very easy in Excel. In fact, I don't do any calculations at all. It's all Excel. There are some pitches that hit for me, but again, yeah, pitchers do need to learn how to hit. I'm simulating the next game. It's going to be a Kings game next. There it is. Yep. The Kings play the Rockies in the second game of their series next. So even though I played a Kings game today, the next one will also be a Kings game. Oh, Tech fan, no. He had a Gold Glove with the Marlins, right? He was terrible with the Cardinals. He's a defensive liability now. Players change. He got worse defensively rather than better. Marcell Ozuna is not a Gold Glove anymore. I agree. At one point, he was good, and the Gold Glove was worth it, but not so much now. I would not want Ozuna in left field. So we go on a little skid here. It's a sweep from Oakland, and then we lost the first one against Colorado. So just a quick standings update. We've fallen to third place in the very competitive National League East. And I say very competitive as in all these teams are kind of middle of the road. But just a little bit off of the Mets here. Mets leading the division, then Marlins, Nationals. I'll take a look at the American League Central. There are our Spiders, 61 and 72. But not so great. And then I wanted to look at Cole Robertson. I mentioned that before. Cole Robertson is the ace of those Padres. He was the center fielder. That's right, yeah. Again, Yelich doesn't seem like a center fielder to me either. But especially in Milwaukee, he's not a really, really good defender. He's good enough, though. Cole Robertson, 22 wins and 27 starts. He has a 1.66 ERA. He is nasty. That's right. 183 strikeouts and 179 innings, just 129 hits and 149 walks. So his WHIP is just under 1. WAR is at 5.3. That's fantastic. K per 9 is above average. Walks per 9 is below average. Home runs is below average. Yeah, I'm terrified of this man as well. Yeah, there are a few aces that really scare me, and he's near the top of the list. Cartwright is probably at the top of the list, especially at the beginning of a franchise, because he really takes a dive after year one into a low 90s, and then he's not so much the dominant ace in year two either. And then Detroit, Ethan Kinsler is just hitting his prime. He's literally, this is the best pitcher on the roster. Show him really fast. Oh wow, I'm in the way. But yeah, Ethan Kinsler, probably the best pitcher in the in Bacon's fictional roster. He will be the best pitcher in Bacon's fictional roster 2021 if that's a thing. Yeah, there we go. I'm gonna land on the Kings here though, because my next game will be the Kings. Noble, yeah, he is. He's a free agent after year one. Unless they re-sign him, or if you're playing as the Tigers and you re-sign him. But he is a free agent after year one. Yep. I didn't want to make the free agent class too big for the first year, but it's a good size. It's not like a lot of really high impact guys, but there's a couple starters there in there that usually don't get signed. And then you have some other options beyond that, but it's not a whole lot of guys that you'll lose if you're playing as those teams or anything. So there we go. I looked at Cole Robertson like I said I was gonna. I got my next game set up. It's gonna be the Atlanta Kings at home against the Colorado Rockies. So there that is. And I probably won't be back for a couple days. Today is Friday. I probably won't stream again until Monday night or Monday during the day. But I'm going to sign off now. Thanks for joining me. This was Bacon's Fictional Franchise. I am Bacon96. If you have questions, let me know. Send it on Twitter or in the comments on any future streams. And have a good one. So bye.